When Pryor recovered from this thing, did he go on TV and do interviews, and did he make fun of himself, or do you remember like what the aftermath of that whole thing was?
I remember him doing a stand-up comedy routine, and that match thing I just showed you was one of the things he did. You know, y'all fucked up, y'all fucked up, y'all. I see y'all talking about me. Took a match, lighted. What is this? He blew it out. It's Richard Pryor, run down the street, okay? And that he made fun of himself, okay? And he talked about the whole drug thing, and you know, and at some point in time, I think one time he even went to Africa. And he came back and he was like, "Oh man, I realized ain't no more. I went to Africa and I didn't see that one nigga, man. It was just I couldn't be a nigga no more." And for whatever reason, that I don't know whether that word was a part of his power or his humor, but he wasn't as funny when he was not doing what he was doing. You know, he wasn't as funny. He was always silly. He always did a lot of difficult, crazy stuff. But when it came to that right there, he wasn't as funny to the masses. You know, maybe that's part of that self-degradation that people like about entertainers in our community. We tend to be the first ones to clown ourselves. And, you know, he lost some of that appeal. You know, when he did that bicentennial N-word and this N-word is crazy, he was hot as fish grease, man. But again, he had been through so much. You know, could you really blame him? You know, I met Richard Pryor in person. I met Richard Pryor in person at the backstage at the Comedy Store up in Hollywood. I was starting to do my comedy club on the Avalon El Segundo. I invited him down, man. Come on down, man. I invited everybody, and he couldn't make. Oh man, I would love to, but you know, he gave you the Hollywood brush off. But again, I talked to him for a few minutes, man. He was a very quiet, shy dude, man. He was real, like he was almost scared. Maybe he was nervous for going on stage. I don't know. But I know a lot of comedians that are like that, man. You see him away from the cameras, away from the crowd, and they're introverts like a son. They sit there, man, and just get the same dude on stage, and he turns the whole show out.
Legend. Let's get to some questions. We have about 12 more minutes. D-Cause says, "Hey, Lonzo, quick question. Did you catch the surgery reference in the Dre and Snoop short film at the end when Snoop kept referring to Dre singing Dr. Dre?"
No.
No, I don't know. Do they have a short film out? I'm not even here.
Which one is that? What film is that?
Let us know, D-Cause, which one you're talking about. Yeah, no, not here.
Not familiar.
But okay, surgery. Let's talk about surgery a little bit, man. How popular was surgery back then? The song. Did the crowd like when Drake played it? Was it one of your? You know, we hear it a lot because we talk about it here. But was it one of your biggest songs at shows and things like that?
No. It was funny, man, because we made Surgery first, then we made Juice. Juice was our biggest dance song for a while, but of all the songs, we had Juice. We made our first album. World Class, had Juice, Surgery on there. But the biggest song out of all of them was Lovers. Lovers was our first introduction to radio. I mean, Juice and Surgery got played because we had good promotion on the record, and it did well. It did very well down south. It did very well against the Latino crowd. In fact, I got a show. I just booked a show, man, for November 15th here in LA. I think it's going to be the Long Beach or San Pedro, a car show. I'm waiting on the contract right now, but they want to hear Surgery and Juice. Okay, and I'm gonna bring it to them too. Damn it, I don't give a damn. I ain't got nothing else to do. Okay, but our big hits was Lovers, the first one, and then Turn Off the Lights just blew up to the next stratosphere. And people, oh man, y'all was doing this, y'all been. That was why would I do something different when I'm being successful over here? And that was always my situation. Why am I trying to reinvent myself when I'm already a success over here doing these right here? Over here, I'm just another artist, but when I do this right here, I stand out in the crowd. So that was one of the things that we fought about. Why would I want to take off these shiny ass suits and put on some tennis shoes and start grabbing my nuts, start competing with other brothers when the ladies love us. What is it? Why would I want to do that? I could not get it. And I understand the world changed, the hood changed, so the world changed. But for us, we had a niche nobody else had. Not many people have had as much success as rappers as we have with songs like "Turn Off the Lights" and "Lovers." They later on they became successful, but for the most part, not a lot of rappers have had as much success as we've had with those two records.
You know what they're mentioning Harlem Nights in the comments section, and man, that is such a classic movie. That's probably my favorite movie. One of my favorite, has to be up in the top 5. I could say that movie word for word. Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, amongst a lot of others, were in that movie. But I want to ask you a question about those 3 specific ones: Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy. Can you explain who had the bigger impact on comedy? Because you were around to be able to, understand all of them and see their come up. Eddie obviously went on to be a huge movie star, but when it comes to comedy and that section, Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, who had the biggest impact, let's say, on today's comedy?
You know what? Here is the beauty of being old. I remember all those guys, and in their time, were the top of their game. In the 60s and 70s, Red Fox was at the top of his game. Okay, you wasn't going to be funny in Red Fox because Red Fox very seldom cussed. He always did insinuation stuff. He had an album called "Wash Your Ass" with a donkey on it. Okay, he had a product called Fug. Okay, if you can't zug it, bug it. Okay, and he did stuff like that. And at that time, that was some cutting edge shit. Then Richard came out and just said, "Fuck it, I'm cussing." Okay, and Eddie came out and did all that, and characters, and told stories. See, Richard told a lot of stories, Mudbone and other stories. Eddie had his the barbecue story, and things like that. And it was just a lot. Eddie had all those people to pull from to become Eddie. You follow me? He had all those folks ahead of him. That I'm gonna take me some Richard Pryor cussing. I'm gonna take me some Red Fox storytelling. Little Richard Pryor. I'm gonna cuss because I got Eddie Murphy's audiobook, I think it is, and Eddie Murphy said when he first went on stage, he did Richard Pryor's whole show. Okay, he did Richard Pryor's whole show. That was his show to imitate Richard Pryor. And the club owner said, "Yeah, you're funny, but all you did was Richard Pryor. Do your own shit."